What's up, nerds? I'm PE Dobbs. I'm a 3D artist, and I'm here to tell you how I made this. So let's get to the breakdown. This is my submission for the Endless Engines Render Challenge. And if you don't know what a render challenge is, you should go over to YouTube, look up Punisher. It's run by Clinton Jones, and every 5 to 6 months he releases a community challenge. And when I say community challenges, this goes for anybody, anyone that's into 3D and whatever program you're using. If you're Cinema 4D, Unreal, Blender, I'm a Blender artist, and basically, the main goal of this project was to have a vehicle enter the scene, do something cool, and then get out the scene. So when I first started, I was thinking about doing like a Tetris tunnel where like Tetris pieces were falling and the character would be like dodging those pieces. But then I think I was prepping for Mandalorian and I was in a Star Wars mood, so I started off with a pod racing scene, and I made a pod racing scene, and I did that in one day. Or I did the bases, most of it in one day. And then for the second day, I did this scene right here, which would be the X-Wing and the trench run. And then I was going to end my last 20 or 40 frames with the Millennium Falcon exiting the scene with like the Death Star in the background. But Hogwarts Legacy came out, and I stopped working on my project for about a week. And when I came back, I saw that someone saw my pod racing idea and said that was really cool, so I decided to make their own. So I came back to work and I saw someone making a way cooler pod racing scene, so I was kind of forced to either do my Millennium Falcon scene or my X-Wing. And then, which is funny, is I picked my X-Wing to do as my main project, and like I'm looking through social media and I'm looking at Rococo Studios, who's a sponsor for the competition. Like they posted some Endless Engine working projects on their Instagram, and I saw someone with the Millennium Falcon and a trench run, and I was like, good, I'm happy I didn't go with the Millennium Falcon. It's funny because like you run across a bunch of artists, and not everyone has a lot of time like I do to do projects. I came across my friend Ballsy, and like he was working on this Tachigama robot from Ghost in the Shell, and then like 2 weeks into the project, he saw that someone else was doing that, and that robot had guns going off and stuff like that. It just to hear his aggravation was just like, I was like, man, I feel you. But the funny part is that the dude that stole my pod racing scene, I actually know the guy. He does the 1 hour render challenges with me, and he was just like, yeah, you really inspired me to take your idea. Okay, let's actually get to the render now and how I put it together. So starting off with the background, which is something I really struggled with. I should have just had like a plane, just a flat plane with like some stars on it, and everyone was like, that looks whack. And I was like, I concur, how can I fix this? And so my boy Tropical, who's only like 14, this 14-year-old artist was like, yeah, I can fix that for you, yeah. And he just sent me an FBX file, and he was like, just use the background. I was like, how do I do that? And he was like, just go to file, hit a pen, and he just selected, and I was like, wow. It's that simple, and now I just have like a full 360 background of stars. Like that's gnarly. So shout out to Tropical, bro. Shout out to Tropical. You get whooped in the 1 hour render challenges all the time, but hey, you come in handy sometime, little bro. So moving over to my vehicles, the where I got my X-Wing is where I get most of my models. I just hop over to Sketchfab right up here, go to Sketchfab, and I typed in X-Wing. I think at first I typed in Star Wars. But then you like clone troopers and like a bunch of other stuff starts popping up. So I just typed in X-Wing, you can see right here. I click the downloadable one, so the free ones pop up. And let just anyone know that if you want to be, you don't have to necessarily model everything you play with. And I believe I downloaded this one, which actually has, I downloaded this one. It actually has like it's animated. You can open up the wings and stuff like that. But when I imported this X-Wing, it came in like a bunch of different pieces. For example, like the interiors, like the glass and like these wings, they're not all attached, they're all different pieces. So I actually had to like parent all these pieces into one piece. For example, where you see like this is pink, this wasn't pink. There was like purple and green. It had like multiple colors on it, and I had to actually put these together. And for the animation, it's just simple keyframing, very simple keyframing. And I mean like actually. Like all these keyframes right here are telling the X-Wing to like move up and down and like swivel left and right and stuff like that. And like again, like I'm not an animator. I'd never once opened up my dope sheet. I don't even know how to use a dope sheet. But you know what? There's this cool little keyframing button right here. So if I wanted like my Millennium Falcon to go down, just hit that keyframe, have it go down. I don't want that much. So Go down a little bit, and then maybe right here, I want it to go down even further. But also right here, I want it to go up. And I'll come over to keyframe 40, and then boom, it's gonna come up. And boom, now, look at that. I know that animation doesn't make sense, it's just to show you that like I actually know what I'm doing. So believe me when I say I'm an artist. Please do. Same thing goes for my TIE Fighter. I know they're supposed to be like, this isn't actually Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, but this is my rendition of the Trench Run. So same thing, went to Sketchfab, got a TIE Fighter, had to put it all together and stuff like that because it was multiple pieces, and now as you can see it's just one big piece. And there's fewer keyframes because this is not in motion. And if you're wondering why, for my focus point, what's it called? I took my camera, went over to my camera settings, added some out of the car window camera shake. So if you notice, the camera's actually shaking to give it like this momentum. And for the focus, where to put, you come down here, you click depth of field, and then I actually clicked on the X-Wing to be the main focus point. So the X-Wing will always be in focus, and it will be the only thing in focus. To continue the scene, I would say the same way for my Millennium Falcon. There was multiple pieces. It's funny if you notice, it actually has its landing gears down. If you notice right here, which is really funny because like I should have edited those off, but who cares? No one notices. You didn't. What's it called? What are we moving on to? This is called a I'm using a discombobulator. Actually, I'll go into this in a separate video.